10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Cult Dow Attack. No, it's actually Whack Whack Attack. Today is March 14th, and the first story is something that I'm really quite upset about, so let's get started with that. There was a tweet that yesterday morning around 5 a.m. Eastern Time that went out. Okay, that's the first and only time I'm going to cough. That said, did something happen to Euler? And then WTF is going on with Euler, hack it seems. And then there was another tweet saying, hi, Euler Finance, you may want to take a look. Now, what do they want to take a look at? Well, there was these ETH transactions. Zach BTC said that most certainly a black hat, as they were exploiting some random protocol on BSC a few weeks ago, and then the funds were deposited into Tornado Cash, and people shared a picture of a carousel burning. So what happened? It seems as though people were talking about there being a big hack on Euler Finance, and then people like MadMat in the Rocket Pool community says, yes, hacked, I lost big, which is really sad. We were quite short on the details and we didn't really know what was going on, but sorry, that's the last time I cough. We weren't really sure what was going on. And then a little while later, we started getting like some clarifying information. So it seems like the I'm not saying anything this time. It seems like $185 million was lost or stolen. Well, stolen, of course. It seems clear now. So the reason why I'm really upset about this is because I've been talking about Euler Finance on Rocket Fuel a lot recently. And I've been talking about how they are integrating our ETH for longing, for shorting, for borrowing against, and all of that stuff. So it's really upsetting, that I've been talking about this on Rocket Fuel so much, and talking about how the product is going to be really good for our ETH. And if even one person deposited into Euler Finance because of me, I would feel really guilty about that. Of course, not because it's my fault, but because I talked about the protocol in a way that maybe I should have had a lot more caveats and a lot more of like a warning that these are smart. There's smart contract risk with any of these protocols, and there's always a chance that you could lose everything. And as horrible as that is, sadly, that's what happened to 185 millions of Euler Finance deposits. It's not good. From what I read, I'm sorry I don't have that information handy, but it seems like their RPL pool was untouched, and that was because it was an isolated pool, I think, but it didn't have the same bug on their smart contract for that. I think I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm not sure what the status of their RETH pool was, but $185 million gone. It looks like what might happen then is, the contracts will get fixed and the protocol will launch maybe under a different name. It was a good product, right? Like it was doing a lot of good stuff in DeFi. I'm not trying to defend them. From what I understand, they made changes to their their contracts without an audit. I think I'm not 100% sure about that information either. But there was some, they had, extensive audits. They did do audits, but the audits missed the bug, and the team missed the bug, and the black hat hacker did not miss the bug. And that is what happens when you live in the dark forest of Ethereum, which is what it is right now. So if you show any weakness, people will take everything. It's a real shame. It really is a shame. I just hope that the people who lost 185 million can somehow get that back, but I don't know how that will be. yeah, it's really upsetting. And personally, of course, because of the fact that I talked about it on Rocket Fuel so much, I didn't have any of my crypto in Euler Finance, so I've not personally been impacted by it, but I know that a bunch of people in the Rocket Pool community had some of their crypto in Euler Finance, so I'm really sorry about them. Sorry for them. Okay, next we're moving on. So we talked about there being a new update for Praetor. We just covered that on Rocket Fuel on Sunday. So the release candidate 1 went out. It was in time for the Goerli hard fork that's taking place later today, that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But yeah, so the release candidate got out, and that was really good. But then Joe later gave us the information saying that the release candidate 1 has been passing tests, and he's going to get a snack and then ship this mess. Let me just see if I have my comments in the right order here, and then I can come back. Okay, yeah, so this is the information about Alpha 1, I guess release candidate 1. He says the testing of version 1.9 Alpha 1 has been going extremely well so far. We've found bugs, we've made improvements to the CLI text, and we've even tweaked the documentation based on everyone's feedback. A massive shout out goes to all our testers on Zhejiang and Goerli for their help. Based on that, today we are releasing 1.9.0 release candidate 1, the first release candidate for version 1.9.0. This is a test release meant for test networks only. Do not use this on mainnet. Aside from some improvements and fixes they discussed below, this adds support for Atlas and Chapella to the Goerli testnet. If you are running on the Goerli testnet, you must upgrade to this version before epoch 162304, which will be in around 7 hours time, I think, to be compatible with the Chapella and Atlas network upgrades. And it says Oracle DAO on Goerli members must upgrade to this version by epoch 162094 to be compatible with Atlas network upgrade, and use the new TWAP based RPL price submission. It says the key changes: updates all clients with Chapella ready versions on Goerli. Besu works with the Smartnode again. Lodestar has an issue that prevents commands like minipool status and minipool exit from working properly. Prism upgraded directly without changing the commit, so they are functioning the exact same thing. That's the release candidate 3 to their mainnet version for Prism. Fixed some small issues and improved some text documentation based on user feedback. And it says for ODAO members, there are 2 new settings in the Smartnode and transaction fees section of the service config TUI. Watchtower max fee override lets you manually specify a higher fee than the default 200 GUI for Watchtower duties. Setting a value lower than 200 will be ignored and still use a max fee of 200. Watchtower priority fee override works the same way for priorities. The default is 3 GUI. These settings are only meant to be used in emergency situations where the network's base fee has been above 200 for an extended period of time, several hours, and the Oracle DAO needs to submit critical transactions such as scrubbing mini pools with invalid withdrawal credentials. Thanks to rocket scientist Object and Valdo for recommending these changes. And then Joe goes on to say we have a detailed guide on top of our documentation site to walk you through all of the new Atlas features. Then there's a link to the document, and it says to install this release, please download the command line, download the CLI, and then there's code to run that, and then run this information. And it says please give feedback on everything in beta feedback. Thank you. So that was really great. Then let me see if I can actually get this, because there's something here that I want to share with you. So Joe released this post. Actually, no, okay, then we're going to come to that next. So I'm just going to move this along because we can move along. Okay, so as you all know, Goerli testnet is going to happen today. There was this tweet from beaconchain.eth talking about how it's going to happen in around 24 hours time. There's a link to the YouTube video, the live stream of that happening, so you can watch it as it's taking place. Of course, like I said, it's going to happen at 10 o'clock and I think 34 minutes or something. The information is here on 10 o'clock and 25 minutes PM UTC, so change that for your time zone. But I think from the moment that I'm recording it, it will be in around 7 hours, pretty much exactly. So yeah, definitely you can follow the hard fork on the Goerli version of the Beacon Chain website, and then you can even follow that down to that epoch and see what's happening there. So next we had a whole bunch of updates from Joe, and one of them was, also, I know when Atlas is going to launch now, but priorities. So Joe was like teasing some bread, but I'm going to come back to that later. Teasing some information, but the Atlas thing, it seems like the team now has information on when Atlas is going to go live. There was a discussion going on whether or not when it was going to happen. So the idea was that it could either happen basically April 16th, I think, is the next rewards period. So the idea was that it could go live just right after the rewards period. So the new version of the rewards tree can get tested for 3 or 4 weeks before the next rewards period happens after that. Or it could go live like basically as soon as possible after Goerli testing and kind of like YOLO it, which gives a little bit less time of testing, but would have everything ready before Shanghai. So a lot of people in the community were like saying YOLO it, like get it out, like ship it sooner, including myself. And I also said, I totally understand that the team would want to be more conservative with this because that's just the stance they've taken pretty much the whole time. But it seems like, let me actually get this link. So we have this post from Langers, and he says there was a post from so Langers is referencing this post from Joe, where it says the safer thing to do is after April 13th was there, which gives us 4 weeks to verify and fix any issues that show up. And he says, my suspicion is they're going to want to do the safer thing. However, Langers said that is correct, and that's what we're targeting. At this stage, we will execute the config changes around April 3rd. So I think that little snippet has kind of gone under the radar. I'm not sure if that means that that's when the contracts will be changed or whatever, but that's how I'm reading it. Maybe I'm mistaken. But it seems like we might be getting Atlas on mainnet on April 3rd, which would be absolutely amazing. And like a really, really big deal and amazing because that gives us like just over a week before the new rewards period to test out the tree making, which is the main thing that needs testing, I think. And I strongly doubt that Shanghai will happen on mainnet before April 3rd. So if that's the case, and that's when Atlas is going to go live, then it seems like the deposit pool limit will be increased to 18,000, probably around 10 days before that, to give it a chance to fill up, if it's going to fill up, which means that we can expect that around, in a week and a bit, which would be absolutely amazing. So there's some really, really exciting stuff happening here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it's all going to play out. But the way that I'm seeing it right now is that Atlas will go live on April 3rd with Shanghai to come about 10 days to 2 weeks after that point, which means Rocket Pool will have the deposit pool changed in about 10 days time, or maybe just a little bit less than that, just over a week. Yeah, so this is absolutely amazing that this is all coming together. We don't have any official dates yet. Like, I don't think this is an official announcement of Atlas launch. The 1.9.0 will have to go through Atlas. We'll have to go through the Shanghai hard fork on Goerli Prater, and once that happens, then I think we'll be in a position where the team might release a date. So it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to all of this, and hey, like big things are happening, and that's what we're here for, right? So Joe then had a couple of other teases or pieces of information. So one of them was this little video that he made about the new version of the Proteus.
Version 1.1 cases are pretty much done being printed, or they're done being modeled. Still printing them now. And here's what they come with. Ready? Ooh. So you can get the little FSD doors.
Yeah, so that's a video for those of you who are listening on podcast, is the access to the the Rock 5B board in the Proteus system was, I think, a little bit difficult in the version 1.0 design of the case. So in the version 1.1 of the case, Joe added like a removable panel on the bottom of the case that he could just like slide out, so it gives you easier access to the bottom of the Rock 5B board, which I think is really nice. So it's really amazing that Joe's like, iterating on his product and trying to make it better with every turn, and I think this is a really nice addition. Also, it looks like he's on the right of the screen, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases printed, so hopefully the next batch of Protei will go out very soon. Okay. Oh, so the next thing is, like I said, Joe was like teasing a couple of things last night, and one of them was, let me actually just go here. One of them was here, so Joe tagged me in a post and he says, it's time, are you ready? And I said I was born ready. So he says, good news everyone. And then I said, I think Joe's about to post the Google form for the t-shirts, and Joe says, you think correctly, sir. So then there's a link to a form right here. So let's have a quick look at the form. So the form says Rocket Pool t-shirt order form. And it says we have some leftover t-shirts for our booth from ETH Denver, so we know not everyone was is able to attend, so we're making them up for grabs. Take a look at the pictures below to see what they look like. T-shirts are first come first serve. Based on submission of this form, we'll prioritize one shirt of each size per order. If you want more than one of a certain size, please specify in the comments at the end of the form and we'll accommodate you depending on the remaining stock. Please be respectful of other Rocket Pool colleagues who only order what you need. Each order costs $5 per package to cover packaging and logistics before tax and shipping. Those will be calculated on a per order basis since everyone's will be different, especially for international orders. Coordinating payment and shipping will be done via Discord by Joe. If you're looking at this form, then you've already joined the Rocket Pool Discord and know how to reach Joe. He'll DM everyone in the order of reservations. Payments will be accepted in USDC on mainnet, Arbitrum 1 and Optimism. We currently have the following sizes in stock, and then there's a date when that was updated. So extra small 18, small 14, medium 23, large 33, extra large 75. And then there's a size guide. So let's have a look at the pictures. The front has just the standard Rocket Pool logo, and it says, what does it say? It says decentralized, decentralized Ethereum staking, whatever, protocol. That's what it is. How do I not know that logo? And then the back of it has the same logo, but it also has the circle with the rocket, which is the Discord server logo that you might know from there. And then there's a size guides about what size will fit you. Then Joe asks what size do you want to wear, what's your Twitter handle, include your full address of where you want it shipped to. And then he says, for non-US orders, are you familiar with your country's importing and tax duty process? You need to know this in order to receive the t-shirt. And he says, any other comments, like if you have special requests or additional quantities for bulk orders, etc. So yeah, the t-shirt's available now for you to get one. There's over 100 t-shirts available. Some of them don't have too many in stock, so make sure you fill out this form as quickly as possible to get that information and get those orders sent out to you. Okay, I think that covers everything from Joe's updates. Yeah, okay, so that does cover everything from Joe's updates. From there, next we have this update from, well, it's not update, but this information about Lighthouse. So Lighthouse is spinning up more mini pools. Of course, they're on the ODAO, they get ODAO rewards. So now they have 18 mini pools that they're running on Rocket Pool. The collateral percentage is actually quite small. It's only at 14%. I'm surprised by that. I thought it would be higher, but they're using their RPL, I guess, to get more mini pools. So it's really great that the core teams are integrating more with Rocket Pool. They had some bad times last year with their node maintenance. It looks like in March they had some days where they were like completely down, and then the same at the end of April into May, and the same here in the middle of June. but since then they've been really good. So that's really interesting. I'm surprised that they've had those node issues then, but yeah, they're going well, they're going strong now, and yeah, they're spinning up more mini pools, so that's always good to see. Okay, so I talked a little bit about this earlier in the Smartnode version 1.9.0 RC1, but I think it's good to just mention it here again. So last week, or I think the week before, we talked about how there were issues with Besu and how it wasn't working on the latest version of the Smartnode stack. So you were advised not to upgrade to the latest version, but now they've got a new update that does work with the Smartnode stack. So if you are on Besu and if you want to update to the latest system, you can do that through the terminal user interface on your node, and you can get that done. But I think it was one of those situations where you just had to wait for the next version to come out to fix what was broken, but that is fixed now. And we had comments from Joe about that, and also I think Petrus was, sorry, just give me a second. Yeah, Plady said just an update 23.1.1 has been working really well. Haven't missed an attestation since switching, knock on wood. So people are getting good responses from that. And like I said, Petrus says that his version that he's doing is working well as well, because he upgraded yesterday. So that's good. I have not updated my Besu yet, because I run on Besu. I think I will update that when 1.9.0 comes out onto mainnet. Right, so next we have this post from Letters. Let me just give me a second. Yeah, so he said that he polished up Uniswap version 3 Rocket Arb contract from last night. So then there's a link to a contract. It says main benefit is gas. Both existing Rocket Arb contracts cost 500k plus gas. This costs 290,000. So so at the moment we have two versions of the Rocket Arb contract, and I guess this will be the third one. The first one was the original one that Ramana made. Then there was the one from Citrus Owl that did things slightly differently, and now this one from Letters is another one that uses Uniswap version 3 to do the Rocket Arb contract. So one of the reasons why this is important, needs to be covered, is because the Ramana's version, when you were using the flash loan part of the Rocket Arb, it seemed as though that was getting it from Euler Finance. Euler Finance, of course, has collapsed, so I don't think that will be an option. So I'm not sure exactly where we stand on Rocket Arb, but it's pretty cool that Letters is working on making an update to that. Definitely go and have a look at the code for that, because interacting with contracts that you don't know, or like software that you don't know, is very risky. So please use it as your own risk, and do your own research before interacting with this. But I think it's really useful, potentially. Let me just see what the LSD price is right now, because I haven't checked this in a while. So let's see if it's worth arbing right now. Yeah, so as you can see, the RETH premium at the bottom there is 0.368%, which is a very small premium. There's not going to be much of an opportunity to get an arb out of that. I think below a certain point, it's not even worth the gas that is paid. However, with Letters' version that we just talked about, the gas is nearly the half of the previous two versions, supposedly. So that might still make it profitable, but you'll definitely have to do your own research before you interact with these smart contracts, with these pieces of software. And then Letters goes on to say, additionally, the main Rocket Arb contract is dead for obvious reasons, and the Owl Citrus one relies on the generosity of someone leaving 32 idle in the contract, which this one doesn't. Main downside of this contract is that it hardcodes a specific Uniswap version 3 pool, so if our liquidity migrates, we'll need a new contract, and if there happens to be a better Arb on Balancer, I can't capture it. So there are definitely limitations with this, but it's really... it's something that we need, and I think that's definitely a good thing. So thank you, Letters, for putting that together. I'm not sure where we stand on like the big brains in the community, kind of like interacting with that contract and like poking around and seeing if it all does what it's supposed to do. Of course, Romana's contract had been used hundreds of times, and I think the Owl Citrus one has been used many times also. I guess, we'll have to build up some trust with the Letters contract before we see where we stand with it. But yeah, thank you, Letters, for doing that. Okay, next we have this comment from Riggers that was kind of talking about Rocket Pool earnings and how it works for like a new node operator, right? Like, so Riggers says, hey all, this is something that I wanted to share with all of you, all of those looking at starting their own Rocket Pool node. I set mine up in December 21 with zero prior knowledge of how to do anything like this. I used the RPL guide to spec my hardware and then to program the node. Since opening, I've earned 1 ETH exactly and around 50 RPL based on my collateral. In that period, I participated in 8 proposals, so it's all good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the next 14 odd months brings. So it took Riggers 14 months to reach 1 ETH in rewards. I'm not sure how many mini pools Riggers does or doesn't have, and they've earned 50 RPL, which is, I think, another ETH, maybe? Let me see. Yeah, just over another ETH of rewards. So in just over 14 months, they've earned just over 2 ETH of rewards. And then there's some more comments here as well, and like just some discussions. So D2 says, congrats and thanks for sharing your story. I suspect that a lot of us non-techie operators out there, myself included, and me included too, it's always great to hear of everyone's successes. I agree that Rocket Pool software docs on this amazing community makes operating a node very doable. And then and there were other comments as well. Reuptake says, great story, yeah, Rocket Pool community, and the fact that withdrawals are coming made me jump into staking many months after my NUC was bought, waiting for my first proposal still, not adding any more mini pools until that happens. And then D2 says, really, why the significance of your first proposal before adding more mini pools, and are you in the smoothing pool? And he says, I'm not saying it's rational, but I'd like to slow things down. And he says, well, hopefully you get the first proposal soon. Yeah, and then just the community were talking about how like how it was really great to stake with Rocket Pool, and how easy it was, and how it's been like a very good experience overall. Like for me, I've been staking a little bit later than Riggers started staking. I started staking January 1st 2022 after getting my stuff set up like a few weeks earlier, like over the break, that just the winter break that was happening at the time. And I'd been interested in staking for over a year at that point, but just never thought I had the technical skills to do it. But the community's been absolutely amazing, of course. And I just, yeah, I've made a little bit more than Riggers has in that time. I think our ETH rewards are probably similar, maybe. Mine might be a bit more, but my RPL rewards are a bit higher than Riggers. Sorry, Riggers. But yeah, it's just the whole thing, like it comes down to community, it comes down to ease of use, and all of those things are absolutely top notch with Rocket Pool. So it's really great. I just thought I'd share that little story because it's nice how the community plays such a big part in people coming to Rocket Pool, how it did for me as well. Okay, so sorry, we just read that. Okay, and next we have a nice little story to finish today's episode with, and here we have a comment from D McCartney. Just give me a second. Yeah, so Phil Cares said he sold all his USDC, and D McCartney said, I made the opposite bet. I just swapped LUSD for discount USDC and set a limit order to swap back when the peg recovers. And then Phil Care says, let's see. And D McCartney says, if I guess right, I'll send an offering to the smoothing pool in your honor. And Jasco says that I'm betting half my portfolio on this already. Oh, by the way, Jasco, team, we are team Cult DAO. So here's my Cult DAO mask that I was wearing in Jasco's honor, and if anyone else wants to join us with the masks, they're welcome to. Yeah, so then what happened was, of course, the USDC peg went back to normal, so D McCartney made a nice amount of profit on that, I guess. And then there's a link to the Etherscan page for the smoothing pool, and here is a deposit into the smoothing pool of 0.5 ETH. So half an ETH was sent to the smoothing pool on behalf of Phil Cares, which I think is really lovely. So it's nice that D McCartney followed through with that kindness, and yeah, it's really cool when the community kind of follows through on these kind of nice things. I really like that. So it's nice to finish the episode on that. I hope you all have a lovely start to your week. Of course, there wasn't an episode yesterday because I had one on Sunday night. As you can hear, my cough has gotten way better than it was on Sunday night. Thankfully, this weekend and yesterday was just really hard for me. We're moving, and I was outside a lot in the cold a lot. It really hurt my lungs, and then I fell down the stairs yesterday, so that was not fun. I really got hurt there as well. So I'm okay, and I'm feeling much better overall compared to what I was like over the weekend and yesterday. And yeah, so I'll be back to making episodes every day again. If I do need to miss an episode, I'll definitely let you all know in the Rocket Fuel thread and in trading, and maybe even on Twitter, that there won't be an episode that day. But I don't think it should be too much of an issue going forward. So it might be that I might make a couple of episodes without recording a video of myself, because it will be difficult to film as we're moving. The new place is just full of boxes everywhere, and I haven't set up a recording section yet. So my whole setup is still at the old place, so that's where I am this morning recording. But anyway, hopefully things will get settled down very quickly, and I'm hoping that there won't be any episodes missed. But have a great week ahead, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.